Good afternoon, guys and girls. Welcome to this tutorial. I'm Matt, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make concept art using the pen tool. Now, before you want to start, you're going to need a rough idea of what you're going to want to make, a pencil, a bit of paper, and a camera. First things first, you want to open Google, and from there you want to type in something that relates to what you want to make. This will give you inspiration on shape, form, and scale. Next up, you want to get your pencil and paper and you just want to jot down some sketches. Doesn't matter how good they are now because you can refine it later on in Photoshop. Now you're done, you want to take your camera, your concept sketch, and lay it flat on a table and just hover over it and take a photo. And now you're good to go. Right, now what you want to do is plug your SD card into your computer, open Photoshop, then you want to locate the photo that you just took. Once you've located the photo, click and drag into Photoshop. If you're shooting in a RAW format, this interface will show up. If you're shooting in JPEG, don't worry about it, it will just open straight into Photoshop. First of all, what you want to do is select the whole image, copy it, and then you make a new document, and you want it to be 1500 by 1000 pixels with 300 pixels per inch. Hit paste. Now resize your image to fit the screen. Before I start, I like to make a color palette for myself for later on. So I get my brush tool, make a line with the color that I want, get a darker tone of that color, make a line underneath it, then continue downwards until I've got all the tones that I want. This can also be done with using the gradient tool. Now you're going to want to go to Filter, Blur, then Gaussian Blur, and then you want to adjust the scroll off in the Gaussian Blur so that the color has a smooth transition. Now you want to select your marquee tool and draw a rectangle to select your colors. And you want to copy and paste it and then delete the original layer. Now if you're going to have more than one color in your image, what I can suggest is going to Image, Adjustments, Hue and Saturation, and then changing colors up like you see me doing on screen. Then as an option, you can group the layers that you've just made and give it a black backdrop just to keep things tidy. Alrighty, now we've got all the preparation out of the way. What you want to do is you want to go ahead and pick a part of your drawing. I'm going to start with the jawbone on my creature, and you want to use your pen tool and select over the contour lines. Now remember, because we're using the pen tool, if our path has any imperfections, we can go back and change it. Once you're happy with your path, you can pick one of the colors from the color palette that we've made, select your pen tool again, right click fill path, and then just press OK. Now you have your shape with the color. What you want to go ahead and do is start shading. What I do for this is I create a new layer on top of it, create it as a clipping mask, and lower the opacity of the brush and just paint over darker shades of blue or black. The same rule applies when adding highlights, so lighter shades of blue and white. You also have the option after the highlighting and shadows to add a texture if you feel it's necessary. So, for example, if you're creating a creature or a piece of armor which has scales, then you want to be using a scaled texture instead of wasting time making the scales yourself. From here on out, it is basically repeating yourself. So you'd be picking a different feature, say the skull, and then you're going to be pen tooling the skull, shading, highlights, and then moving on to the next part, adding a bit of colour, making sure it's all to what your standards are. The best advice I could give to anyone making concept art is just take your time. If it's rushed, it won't look, the quality will be impaired, so I'd definitely just take your time. The more time you spend on a project, the better the outcome. A lot of the techniques that you're seeing on screen at the moment are simple photo manipulation techniques. So it's basically reapplying it to a different area of graphic design. If you're having any trouble following this guide and say there's something that you're struggling with in particular, feel free to inbox us at the Design Barracks or me personally on my channel, and I will try my best to address your issue. other than that, guys, I hope that this video has helped you by giving you a better insight on how you would approach creating a concept art. If you've used my method and you've completed it from start to finish, feel free to post the images below. I'd love to see them, see how it comes out. But yeah, thank you very much for watching, and have a nice day.